Welcome to GOS Media, and welcome to our special performance as we count down 12 days to Christmas. I'm your host, Josiah Kim. Today's Grain of Sugar is part one of a 12-part presentation by James Winter as he recites Charles Dickens' novel, A Christmas Carol. So gather the family together, grab some cocoa and cookies, sit back and enjoy the Christmas classic, A Christmas Carol.
Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt whatsoever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it, and Scrooge's name was good upon change for anything he chose to put his hand to. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. Mind, I don't mean to say that I know of my own knowledge what that is particularly dead about a doornail, but the wisdom of our ancestors is in the simile, and my unhallowed hands shall not disturb it. You will therefore permit me to repeat emphatically that Marley was as dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead? Well, of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he were partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole assign, his sole residuary legatee, his sole friend, and his sole mourner. And even Scrooge was not so dreadfully cut up at the sad event, but that he was an excellent man of business on the very day of the funeral. The mention of Marley's funeral brings me back to the point that I started from. There is no doubt that Marley was dead. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come from this story that I am going to relate. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterwards, above the warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley. The firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people new to the business called Scrooge Scrooge, and sometimes Marley. But he answered to both names. It was all the same to him. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted, hand-at-the-grindstone Scrooge, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner, hard and sharp as flint, from which no steel had ever struck out generous fire, secret and self-contained and solitary as any oyster. The cold within him froze his old features, nipped his pointed nose, shriveled his cheek, and stiffened his gait, and made his eyes red and his thin lips blue, and it spoke out shrewdly in his grating voice. The frosty rime was upon his head and his eyebrows and his wiry chin. He carried his own low temperature always about with him. He iced his office in the dog days and didn't thaw it 1 degree at Christmas. External heat and cold had little influence on Scrooge. No warmth could warm, no wintry weather could chill him, no wind that blew was bitterer than he, no falling snow was more intent upon its purpose. Foul weather didn't know where to have him. Nobody ever stopped him in the street to say, "Oh, my dear Scrooge, how are you?" No beggars implored him to bestow a trifle. No children asked him what it was o'clock. Even the blind men's dogs appeared to know him, and when they saw him coming on, would tuck their owners into doorways and up courts, wagging their tails as though to say, "No eye at all is better than an evil eye, dark master." But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked, to edge his way along the crowded paths of life, warning all human sympathy to keep its distance. That was what the knowing ones called nuts to Scrooge. Once upon a time, in all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, and biting weather, foggy withal, and he could hear the people in the court outside go wheezing up and down, stamping their feet on the pavement stones to warm them. The city clocks had only just got 3, but it was quite dark already. The fog came pouring in at every chink and keyhole, and it was so dense without that the houses opposite were made phantoms. The door of Scrooge's counting house was opened that he might keep his eyes upon his clerk, who, in a dismal little cell beyond, a sort of tank, was copying letters. Scrooge had a very small fire, but the clerk's fire was so very much smaller that it looked like one coal. But he couldn't replenish it, for Scrooge kept the coal box in his own room, and so surely as the clerk came in with the shovel, the master predicted that it would be necessary for them to part. Wherefore the clerk put on his white comforter and tried to warm himself at the candle, in which effort, not being a man of strong imagination, he failed. "A Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you!"
Bah! Humbug!
"Christmas? A humbug? Uncle, you don't mean that, I'm sure."
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come then, what right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Humbug!
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas! Out upon Merry Christmas! What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older, but not 1 hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should.
Uncle!
Nephew! Keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone, then. Much good may it do you, much good it has ever done you.
There are many things from which I might have derived good, by which I have not profited. I dare say Christmas among the rest. But I am sure I have always thought of Christmas time as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time, the only time I know of in the long calendar of the year when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut hearts freely, and therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it. The clerk in the tank involuntarily applauded, becoming immediately sensible of the impropriety, poked the fire and extinguished the last frail spark forever.
Let me hear another sound from you, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. And you're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
I'll see you. Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I am sorry with all my heart to find you so resolute. But I have made the trial in homage of Christmas, and I'll keep my Christmas humor to the very last. So, a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon. and a Happy New Year. Good afternoon! Ah!
His nephew left the room without an angry word. He stopped at the outer door to bestow the greetings of the season on the clerk, who, cold as he was warmer than Scrooge, for he returned them cordially.
And there's another fellow, my clerk, with 15 shillings a week and a wife and a family, talking about Merry Christmas. I'll retire to Bedlam. Humbug!
Thank you for tuning in to today's presentation. We hope you will like and share today's video. Be sure to come back tomorrow for the continuing saga of Old Man Scrooge. Need something unique for the person who has everything? Visit our merch store on the website. We have some great discounts going on through Christmas Day. Thanks again for watching. And how about leaving some comments letting James Winter know what you think of his rendition? We will see you tomorrow for the next episode. I've been your host, Josiah Kim.